Okay, Black Myth Wukong, pretty cool, but this guy looks familiar. He looks familiar. Who is that? Who is that? Come on. That's Thanos! That is Thanos! At least it's Thanos' head. I mean, he's got that famous shriveled chin, if you know what I'm saying. That's Thanos.
Perfectly balanced, this whole thing should be.
Black Myth Wukong, all right? This beautiful, beautiful gentleman right here just decides, hey, you know what you need? You're about to go fight a bunch of guys and have to deal with people with swords. You need to be a fly. That'll be helpful. No, sir, it won't be helpful. What am I gonna do to him as a fly? And then he nopes out. He's just like, good luck. And it's like, oh, okay. Thank you. Wait, how do I turn back? How do I turn back? Black Myth Wukong. But I gotta say, I hate when this happens. You're having a good boss fight, everything's going perfectly, you finally get him down to that last hit, and you're like, yes, I got it, I did it, and you hit him, and there it is, we defeated him. Wait a second, that's just part one. We gotta go into part two. How does he lose all his health and then get all his health back? Look, I really in Black Myth Wukong, what is going through a boss's head? Like, the first 10 times you come to fight him, it's like, all right, let's go. And then the next 10 times, it's like, oh, you're back. You want some more? Let's get it. And then the next 10 times, it's like, oh, you're her again? Okay, okay, let's go. Then the next 10 times, it's like, well, what are you doing? Don't you have a family? Don't you have people who love you? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you putting yourself through this? All right, let's do it. And then the next 10 times, it's like, please stop. I don't want to keep doing this to you. I don't want to hurt you. And then the next time you come back, he's like, just take my armor, take my weapon. Just go. I'm not gonna fight you. Then again, I'm probably the only person on Earth who has to fight these bosses 500 times just to be able to beat them. That's why I wonder what is going through bosses' heads. Black Myth Wukong, okay? Most bosses that you defeat, they go down and they're like, I hate you! Or they might be like, you have done well, monkey. I will remember you. And then they die, right? But this guy was like, no, please, let me live. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't even like working here. I don't even like these guys. These guys suck. These guys, I've always liked you. Please let me live. Please let me live. That's why he's like the most embarrassing boss I've seen yet in Black Myth Wukong, right? So you defeat a boss and then you get to use their attacks as your attacks. Everyone always asks me why I still use the headbutt. Well, the guy who does the headbutt, this guy, when he does that, it just looks awesome, first off. But I've always liked a headbutt attack. Ever since I watched the World Cup, there was a player named Zinedine Zidane who headbutt another player right in the chest. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. So that's my favorite transition in the chapter 1 end scene in Black Myth Wukong was extraordinary. I don't speak another language, but just the visual storytelling accompanied by the music was so powerful. It was moving. Getting to see that young child from young chasing after prosperity and money, and then it causing him so many problems in life. It made me wonder what that scene was about. So I looked it up, and apparently it's this guy, the Elder Jinchi that we play against earlier on. It's his story and his journey. Amazing. That's why I thought, Chapter 2, Black Myth Wukong, our character is already dead and he has a bunch of arrows in his chest. This chapter is going to be a whole flurry of arrows flying at you. Trust me, the projectiles are crazy in this chapter. But the game does provide you with some pretty good options to deal with them. In fact, the sound design alone will allow you to hear when the arrows are fired and when they're going to reach you so that you can dodge without even having to look. Pretty awesome. So, just a heads up, stay safe. Because right in the beginning of in Black Myth Wukong, that if you want to do anything, you have to pluck out one of your hairs. So we meet this guy in chapter 2, right? And he wants to share an ability with us. But there's one problem. Do you see the problem? Yeah, he doesn't have a head to be able to pluck a hair from. So this guy starts reaching under his arms, and I'm thinking, oh, what is he trying to scratch an itch, or does he have worms or something? And then this guy grabs an armpit hair, and he's like, here you go, here's my armpit hair ability. Like, thanks, I guess? So, yeah, every single time you use pluck of many, you're actually using, remember, an armpit hair. That's right. Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense, because you have to pluck a hair to do anything. We know this because it's been established. They did that thing in Black Myth Wukong, Chapter 2 end scene, where he suddenly awoke and it was all just a dream. It's really played out at this point. That's kind of like grade 2 writing. But it was smart how they did it because they didn't end the story there. You see, the story starts with him finding the fox. The fox then turns into a woman. They get married. They have a family. They grow old together. And then the fox goes all wild animal again on his family. And that's when he wakes up from the dream. Well, it's at that point that he walks out of his door in the next shot, and he's got the fox fur around his neck. So instead of ending with an empty feeling because everything you just watched was fake, you kind of end it feeling a little heartbroken. That's good storytelling. So I'm kind of glad this guy in Black Myth Wukong, the Rizhog. That's his name from now on. That's what we're calling him. First off, when you meet him after the dragon fight, he pops up out of the thing and he's like, "Rrr." But then the camera zooms out and he's only like this tall. And then he falls off the platform and all of a sudden he just starts going in on you. Like, you idiot, what took you so long? I almost melted in there. And you're thinking, who is this guy? Like, I don't even know him. Why is he all over me? Well, if you listen just before that fight to his conversation with the dragon girl, bro is chit-chatting her all up. I mean, this guy's an absolute player. He must be the ladies' man of the Celestial Court. Even later on, you find out that he was talking to the mother of all the spider girls. Dude got that W-Riz. So, I hereby dub playing Black Myth Wukong and struggling to level up, get XP, and gain sparks. I got just the video for you. Check it out. First thing I'd recommend, go to your staff stances. You want to try and get at least 10 sparks put into your staff stances as quickly as you can, because what that will allow is for you to unlock the 3 focus points. The next thing you want to do, travel to Rock Rest Flat. Start off from Rock Rest Flat here. Charge up my heavy attack, take him out, go over to this guy over here, finish him. Next you're going to go over to this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. I hope this video helped you out. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Stay liquid. V-Tang out. On the north shore of the Bitter Lake in Black Myth Wukong, you meet this guy. His name's Chen Lung. You know how in the first chapter when you beat the bear boss, after you beat him, he just starts like crying? This boss does something similar, but it feels very different. After you beat him, he's just like, I'm an old dragon. Why does everyone want to fight me? No one will leave me alone. I just want to live my life for Pete's sake. And you kind of feel bad for him, you know? But it's like, well, why didn't you just say so? Like, I came over here and you started throwing hands. What you expect me to do? Just take a beat down? It's really one of those lose-lose situations where if he beats you, you just lost to an old man. But if you fight him and you win, you're the loser who just beat up an old man. But at the end of it, because you feel kind of guilty, you go and get him a healing orb. And then because he's thankful you got him the healing orb, he gives you access to all your vendors in one location. So that's kind of cool. This is located part of the way through Chapter 3, Black Myth Wukong, Non-Able. That's his name, Non-Able. You start fighting the guy and you kind of feel bad for him because his hands are literally tied behind his back. But don't feel too bad. This guy reminds me of when Doomsday originally showed up in the Superman comics. Because he showed up and one of his arms was bound behind his back. But even with one arm behind his back, he was giving Superman a hard time. And then the binding broke and he had both arms available. We all know how that ended. If you don't, basically he killed Superman. So, yeah, like I said, this guy reminds me of Doomsday because he hits like a truck when his arms are tied behind his back. And when they're finally out and free, he hits like a planet. Just be careful. You meet this guy. Remember chapter 2 end scene in Black Myth Wukong. That's the one where the guy finds a fox, the fox turns into a woman, they get married, have kids, but then the woman turns back into a fox, eats the kids, but then the guy wakes up and it was just a dream, but he kills the fox just in case. Yeah, that was a sad story. But in chapter 3, you actually meet the fox, and she asks you basically to go and avenge her death. So you find the guy, he's a boss, and so you fight him and you defeat him. It's a pretty tragic story, actually. What's that old saying that most people meet their destiny on the path they take to avoid it? It ties in really well because an interaction between Yellowbrow, who's the main antagonist of chapter 3, Black Myth Wukong, and Jinchanzi. Yellowbrow seems like he's trying to prove that human nature is only to care about yourself and what you want, greed. It seems like he's trying to prove this so he can justify his desire to be Buddha and to be in control, to run everything. When you defeat him in the final fight, he talks about how he only cares about himself and he only looks out for himself and is just trying to advance himself. So he still holds true to that way of thinking even after you beat him. But the interaction between him and Jinshanzu, it kind of reminded me of the interaction between God and the devil, where the devil said that humans won't remain faithful to you. They only obey you because they care about themselves and they're greedy. So that was interesting to see that parallel. But this just seems to be name the movie reference. One more hit from this golden Buddha and I am dead. Somehow I managed to find cover. And what does Yellowbrow start doing?
He starts monologuing.
He starts this prepared speech about how feeble I am and compared to him and how inevitable my defeat is, how the world will soon be his, yada yada yada. I mean, the guy's got me on a platter and he won't shut up. You in a high five. A high five to anyone who can. It's like I'm watching some weird version of Charlotte's Web right now. So the entirety of chapter 4, you're wondering, was this spider lady just another girl that Zubaje chased after, or did he genuinely really love her? And we get that awesome cinematic, that animation at the end of the chapter with another piece of music that just has so much heart to it. It's awesome. And then we get to see them meet and fall in love and live their lives together. But surely they don't love each other anymore because they're fighting this entire chapter. She literally has them hanging from the ceiling. Well, right in the end of the chapter when the daughters are holding the mother and it seems like she might be at the last moment when she sits up and speaks, you see Baje give a sigh of relief. You just, thank goodness. So, Zubaje and the Spider-Woman definitely loved each other and still care about each other. A spider and a pig.
Oh boy. Alright, what you doing? What you doing? Oh, nope. Don't like that. No. Don't let it get away. You never let a spider get away. Oh my goodness, I let a spider get away one time when I was living in my first apartment. I moved out the next day. Oh, giant hole in the ground. Nope, I'm not going in there. I refuse. Oh no, this is unacceptable. Another spider. What is that sound? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, run. Oh my god, they're everywhere. Are they behind me? Oh my god. Oh, don't look back. Oh my goodness. Oh, run faster. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's a tidal wave. It's a freaking tidal wave. I swear.
Do not, I repeat, do not start a new cycle as soon as you defeat the final boss in Black Myth Wukong. There is a secret boss fight that is also just, it grants you a new powerful transformation and an epic weapon. Most importantly though, it changes the story. It changes the ending and allows you to get the true ending. I don't want to spoil anything, but the ending you get if you just play the game through once and defeat the final boss is not the actual ending. So don't miss this. You should not. In fact, I'll outright tell you what to do.
Where'd you come from, you bird-faced mug?
无夫君无法器，为非作歹有天兵。